Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tapestry of Connection. I am your host, Gina Francis, and today I am honored to have what I believe is my sister from another lifetime, Margaret Lee, joining me from Ireland. Margaret runs ML Therapy. You can find her on Facebook at ML Therapy, and she is a talented Reiki healer, tarot reader, psychic, angel healer, pendulum healer, you name it, she does it. Margaret, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Gina. I truly appreciate this opportunity you've given me. Never done a podcast before, and do you know what? I'm super excited about this.
Me too. So I usually like to start and just find out sort of what brought you to this work.
Well, I didn't come to healing until quite late in life. Like a lot of people, when COVID hit, I was actually running a bridal shop. And when COVID hit, myself and my partner decided, we can't do this anymore. He's working too many hours. I'm working too many hours. It's just not working. So I give up work. This girl, Elaine Shanahan, did an intuitive day in one of the local hotels. And I've always been interested in having my cards read and tarot readings, and going to mediums. Loved it. And I says, do you know what? I'll go. So when I went there, she started telling me all about Reiki. And I says, what's Reiki? And she goes, oh, it's really hands-on healing, energy. And I was like, that sounds lovely. So I went and I started doing my Reiki levels with Elaine. And then I was doing Sit at Home on Facebook, as you do. And another girl, Joanne Pasternak, put up angel healing meditation morning. And I was like, oh, that sounds very interesting. So I went down and she started telling me, so we did the meditations, and then she started talking about angel healing. And I was like, well, I kind of really like the sound of this. So I started my angel healing levels with Joanne, and as I was going through, I had to get case studies, and my mother begged her. I was begging her to come down. Please come down. I want you to be a case study. Please, please, please. Mm-hmm. And she goes, I don't know. It's not really for me, but I'll do it. So eventually I drag her down, and she goes, oh, well, that's very different. Because she would have had angel healing and Reiki done before herself. Mm-hmm. And she goes, that's really different from everything I've had before. You know, there's a long line of ancestral healing on our side. And I says, did you not think that maybe you could have told me that at any stage? Nowhere, anywhere along the line. And I'm like, what? So she goes, yeah. Now, there has been instances in my life where things just happen that just didn't make sense. I mean, there was one time I knew when my grandmother passed, and it's not that I was anywhere near her. I just knew. And it was the same when my husband's brother passed, and just there was a loud bang in the house. And I was like, it's gone. So the different things have come up, and even I do remember when I was living at home, and there was like, I could feel the energy. I could see the energy, but I didn't know what it was. And I was a bit afraid of it. So I wouldn't open my eyes. So I was like, no, don't do that. No, I'm a bit scared. But it did take me until I'm like 50 odd to really get into it. And now that I've got into it, I'm realizing I just didn't have cold hands. My hands weren't just turned on. So now my hands are always warm, and I'm always doing this. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why I do that, but I just do it.
Yeah.
And I really like it.
So just to go back, so your mom had Reiki and other things before.
Yeah.
Had ever mentioned to you that this ran in your family. And then when you're practicing on your mom, she feels the energy like way stronger and way different than anything she's had before. And then says, oh, guess what, Margaret? That's
no, never. I mean, I'm looking at this woman 50 odd years. So it's not as if she hadn't time to tell one about it. never mentioned it. And the reason once she mentioned it, because something happened to her as a child that I could tell her about after the Reiki session. And she was like, oh, I didn't even tell your father about that.
Oh, wow.
So she said, there's definitely something there. Now, I do have a couple of cousins that I do go over and we meet up weekly, and they're also very in tune. It's all on the same side as my mother's side. And we have our own little group. It's really nice. But every time I go over there, and there's a certain point in the road as I'm driving over that there's cigarette smoke in the car. My car, nobody has ever smoked in it. Not once. Never. So every time I'm driving on, I get to a certain point in the road, and then you just get this waft of cigarettes. So when my granddad smoked, I don't know, many cigarettes a day, but do you know what I mean? It just goes to show that there's little things that come up that we don't think about. I mean, even I do remember when my husband's grandmother passed, and that night all I could smell in the room was a turf fire. There's no turf fire in my house. I refuse to have an open fire in the house because I hate the feel of ashes. And all I could smell was a turf fire. And I was like, right, she's obviously coming to visit. So yeah, it's different. So rewarding. When you finish a session with somebody and you can give them little bits of pieces of information that they may have forgot about, or they may have not registered that day, that we're not just here, live, die. And I never liked that. I never liked the fact that it's just black and white. I always liked the idea that there was something more.
Yeah. I've always believed there was something more, having grown up in a Christian home, and that there is life after death. But it is an interesting thing when you start doing this work and you're communicating with ones that have passed on. I mean, there's something quite amazing about having that communication with the spirit world that you can't really put into words, because it's so. It's healing, it's awe-inspiring, it's so many adjectives to describe something that's indescribable.
I know. There was a client recently, and her father has Alzheimer's, and I hadn't experienced it before, but an Alzheimer's patient can float between the worlds very easily because he's not constrained to the different paths anymore. And there was things I could tell her that she was like, there's no way you could know. And there was things that had been worrying her, but when he explained it to me, what she needed to hear, it made an awful lot of sense to her. And in that case, that's so nice to be able to tell somebody, this is not you, this is him coping with a situation that he needs to cope with in that way. And it's nothing to do with you.
Talk to me a little bit about what it was like with your family when you started to do this work. I mean, because your mom, you've got your day to day, you've got, runs for practices and things like that. And we know how teenagers are. So what was that like?
At the start, I was like, oh, I don't really want to tell anybody, or I don't want anybody to know. And it took me a while to kind of reconcile the fact that it's not a me problem, it's a them problem if they don't like it. I had to learn to deal with the fact that it's not for everybody. I have one of my own sisters. She told me straight out, I will support you in whatever you want to do, but it's not for me. And if anybody asks, I will pass on your details. But I just don't want anything to do with it. And I thought, do you know what? That's the nicest thing she could have said.
Yeah.
Because it's not that she was trying to put down what I was doing. It was her way of saying, I'm going to support you, but I just don't want to really know anything about it. And she does go, when I send her my certs or stuff after I'm doing a different program, she will go, oh, well done. So proud of you. That's all I hope when I meet people. If it's not for you, that's okay. I mean, and I had to laugh at my father. My father he's 90 this year, right? So that'll tell you, he's an older gentleman. I was doing Reiki on my mother and doing different case studies, and he came down and we're in the sitting room, and he goes, "Why haven't you asked me?" And I said, "Asked you what?" And he goes, "Well, you didn't ask me if I wanted to be one of your case studies." This is, "Do you?" And he goes, "Fine, but I won't be going on that bed thing now." Now, in fairness, right, the man is a bit older, but I don't care. He could sit on the bloody chair. So the fact that that man said, "Yeah, I'll let you do that," because there's other times where he'll allow me do certain things. Now, he can be very crouchy even if it suits him, but he will allow me do certain things as well, which is good. It wasn't as big a deal as I thought it was going to be. I did get some kickback from people I didn't think, people I thought I wouldn't have got a kickback from, I did get. And people I thought I was getting a kickback from were like, "Yeah, that's fine."
I think it's a similar thing. When I first started to do this, I was really afraid for people to know my real name. I was like, what are people going to think? Blah, 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 blah. And then you realize, like, it doesn't matter what other people think of me. That's not in my hula hoop. That's in their hula hoop. You know, I can only control what's in my hula hoop, and they can have theirs.
I'm not sure if should I say this, but your father is actually here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he has been since the start, but he's like putting his hands on the shoulder. So he's very proud of you, miss. I'm very proud of everything you do. Like any father would be. But yeah. But I'm not going to get into connecting in with him because that's not what this is about. But I did think it was very apt that straight away, as soon as we started talking, he just whooshed. So
Could be the Irish connection, my ancestry. It's long ago, but on his side, we've traced our coming to America, the 1600s, from his side, from Ireland, and so maybe, you know, there's something, like I said, kindred spirits, you know.
I have to say, when you're connected with people, a lot of the people I connect really well with is the Americans when we're doing stuff, and you know, like when we're practicing on how to improve our different skill sets. There's so many of the Americans that are so open and so wanting and willing to try and connect and allow you into their personal space. It's amazing.
So tell me about the difference for people that don't know in angel healing versus pendulum healing versus Reiki healing. I mean, I know they're all the same, but walk people through the
They're all
difference.
the same, but they're all slightly different.
Yeah.
If for example, the way it works for me. Now, I mean, different people, different strokes, different folks. The way it works for me is if your mind is overly busy and you're in quite a lot of pain and there's a lot of stuff going on, I find angel healing will just calm everything right down. It's just like you're walking out of here after a session on a cloud. You literally float out the door. Reiki is for quite busy people, and that they enjoy the uplift and the boost that Reiki will give them. It really energizes them. The pendulum healing, it's very calm, it's really good for clearing energy, rebalancing, re-energizing all the chakras and the auras, and just putting you right back into a spot. I have one lady who just loves it, absolutely loves the pendulum healing. Every time she comes, and I've offered her all the different types, and she go, "No, I want the pendulum." And do you know what? It's what works for her. Whatever works for you is the best. There's no right and wrong.
Right.
They're all energy healing. They're all hands-on. I mean, obviously with your permission. I mean, you know, if you were happy, I would be touching your head, your ears, your neck, your shoulders. I wouldn't touch any part of the torso unless prior permission was given. I touch, you know, the knees, the ankles, the feet, but you're under a blanket, you're fully dressed, you're completely warm, you're completely safe. A lot of my clients like to have the eye mask so that they can just close right in, and I use a weighted blanket as well. Even during the summer, sometimes I try and cook them, but the weighted blanket makes them, it's like a little cocoon. It just makes them feel that extra bit safer. It's like a hug. So it's on whatever they feel the safest with. If you want to talk through your whole session, that's okay. Or if you want to fall asleep, that's okay. Or if you want to just lie there and allow me to do the work and be conscious of it, yeah, that's okay. There's no right or wrong. I'm a firm believer in whatever makes you happy is what makes me happy.
And I always believe, like, whatever is meant to happen, set my intention for the greatest and highest good. I call in their angels and guides, my angels and guides, to assist in the healing, however it needs to go. But I often find a lot of people fall asleep. Like, a lot of people, even if you're doing a distance, I don't know how many distance sessions you do, but I'll be doing a distance session on the phone, and then I'll hear snoring, and I'm like, it's so fascinating to me how it works. Like, how you can calm someone. You're not even in the room with them, but the energy can transcend everything.
I have done, if I'm doing distant, I don't keep them on the phone. I just tell them, put your blankie on and lie down. I have done delayed distant healing because not everybody's in my time zone.
Yes,
So
yeah.
And that works really well. And if I will let them, especially distant healing people, I will tell them, look, I'll send you a text tomorrow to check in with you, but it'll be up to you to come back to me whatever time suits you. A lot of the people I've done distance healing on have said they've seen colours, they've seen shapes, they've seen hot, cold, and they've got answers for questions that is bothering them. Because as I said, at the start of intention, I don't need to know everything.
Mm-hmm.
But at the start of a session, I says, if there's a question you need, put it out there. And if you don't get an answer during the session, you will get an answer during the night. It may not be the answer that you want, but it will be the one that'll point you in the right direction.
A lot of my healing is distance healing because, since the pandemic, a lot of people are more comfortable. They don't have to be in your presence. And every session is different. Everybody's energy is different. There's intuition obviously involved in working the Reiki. And sometimes I will get messages to give them. Sometimes I will have information about particular ailments that I pass on. And obviously, not a doctor. I always want you to see, your practitioner. This is not a replacement for, medical treatment. It's an adjunct. But I find it fascinating that just like we all come in different shapes and sizes and everything else, our energy signatures are all different.
Hugely. Hugely. I do remember I did a client and I was doing a distant healing. And as I was doing the distant healing on her, all I seen was bowl of cornflakes. I was like, cornflakes? What? I don't know what to do with a bowl of cornflakes. And I knew it was her brother stepping in. And the following day, and I was like, oh God. Oh, how do I tell her this? I says, look, I get different messages. I says, I don't know if this is going to make any sense to you or not. But in your healing session, I seen a big, massive bowl of cornflakes. And she goes, oh, I know who that is. That was my brother. My brother was a celiac. And every morning he kept giving out that we were able to eat cereal and he wasn't. And he had passed. And she says, I know for a fact it was him. That is all you hope for, that whatever you're given is going to make sense. I was like, I was kind of half afraid to say,
Yeah, I had one time where and it wasn't as profound as that, but I kept seeing a watermelon. like I'm working on this woman, and I kept seeing a watermelon, and I'm like, okay, am I crazy? I'm like, Spirit, if this is my mind, please take this away, because I don't understand why I'm seeing a watermelon when I'm working on this lady distantly. And I kept seeing it. And so when I'm saying to her the next day, I said, I don't know if this is going to make sense, and I have no idea why I'm telling you this, but like the whole time I was working on you, periodically I would see a watermelon. And she just busts out laughing, because I had told her, I said, I think, your hydration, you need more hydration. Earlier I had told her that. And she said, that's so funny, because I was drinking watermelon water every day. And then I quit drinking it because I thought that's a luxury. I shouldn't indulge in that, blah, 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 blah. And I haven't been feeling as good since I stopped drinking the watermelon water. Now, blows my mind, first of all, because how the hell would I know that this woman drinks watermelon water and doesn't drink? I wouldn't. But Spirit was giving me that message to tell her. And so tell her, I said, I think watermelon water is good for you. They're sending you a message that it's okay to go back to drinking your watermelon water. It's good for your body. Just little things like that can blow you away. And it makes no sense. Like, I will never make sense of how it works, I don't think, till I'm on the other side somewhere.
I know. There's so many things that just doesn't make sense, that you're just like, what? Okay.
But it also shows to trust it, right? Because if you didn't trust the cornflakes, if I didn't trust that and didn't say it, part of the message wouldn't be being carried through. Like your person needed to know that the brother and the connection, and my person needed that hydration, and that they were no longer getting. What I find fascinating about that is it deepens your relationship with Spirit at the same time you're helping the person. The more you lean into that, the more reward. It's like
I know.
It's like a dance.
Yeah, you're kind of going. It's my human mind that I'm like, oh, and I do have to fight that. I do have to fight it and say, right, because there's so many different little stories that you see and you hear, and you're kind of going.
What's one of the strangest ones you got, other than the cornflakes?
It would have been one of my case studies. I was a really good friend of mine, and he came over, and I've known him for a long time. And he was on the bed, and I actually got off the bed. I says, I don't understand. I says, I seen a really dark shed, but in the shed was chickens. And he goes, oh. I said, as a kid, his mischievous cousins locked him into the shed with the chickens, and he has been terrified of chickens ever since. He says, never told anybody. I've never said it to anybody. I don't know how you know that. Mm. So I was like, that to me was just a mind blow, because I was like, because I had only come home from holidays recently, and I had brought him home like this bird feeder thing from a holiday. I didn't know he was afraid of birds. I mean, I knew him for years, but I didn't know he was terrified of birds. And I was after I had done the session with him and found out about the chickens, I says, I hope you're not going to try out my bird feed. And he was like, not one that chuckle.
So, you've recently gotten into beauty Reiki, which I'm sure is fascinating for me. So do tell, because we have the tips.
It is. It's so fascinating. It's so different. The reason I got into it was my mother suffers from this temporal lobe arthritis, which means part of the veins in her head. This bit is fine. This bit is damaged. This bit is fine. So she's kind of constantly in and out of pain, right? And there's only so much painkillers can do, like we all know. And when he was talking about the program, he said it's not just on the top level. It's about going into the veins and the arteries and shining a light and connecting everything back into the chakras. And just, it's all about love and green healing energy, bringing it all back. It'll rejuvenate a lot of things. Now, I have to say, I've used it a couple of times on her, and every time it's only about 15 minutes long. And every time I've done it, she's like, I like that. Now, I'm doing it myself, because obviously you have to practice on yourself, because I can't sell something I don't believe 100% in.
Right.
For years, I could only grow my hair to here, to my shoulders. Just would not grow any further. It didn't matter if I cut it, not cut it, put hair strengthening, hair growth, whatever, it would not grow. This is the length of my hair now since last September. The other thing about my hair since last September, I haven't had to put a colour or a dye in my own hair since last September. So I'm like, oh, there is something really interesting about that. I also suffer from rosacea, which means I have quite a high pigment, and it has brought that down a huge amount. I don't get as many flare-ups as I used to get. I mean, we're coming from winter into spring, and obviously the heating is on, and anybody with rosacea will know, coming from a hot car out to the cold into the house, it looks like somebody cooked you alive when you're walking in through the house. And I've even people that look at me and go, oh no, it's just, or it could start here and just.
Or like when you exercise and people think you're dying, they look at you. They're like, what on earth? I'm like, I'm fine. It's just fine.
I know. I always do the lovely raw tomato.
Yes.
A lot of it. There's different programs for different areas. There's one that we're doing on the legs, and I had a varicose vein in my leg from when I used to do a lot of standing when I was working years ago, and it was a pretty bad varicose vein, I have to say. And if I touched it, it was really sore. Since I started doing the program, the vein has filled up, and the pain has gone out of it. It's amazing. I cannot recommend it enough. I mean, there's so many different pluses for it. It's not, and you don't need any special equipment for it. You don't need to go and have a special washing system after you get a treatment. Once you get your treatment, what'll happen is you'll take a photograph before, I'll do the session, and then you'll take a photograph afterwards. And you're just like, oh. And a lot of time there is genuine differences in the photos. And I'm like, and it's amazing. And every time I do it, I'm kind of, wow, that looks really good. So there's a new one that he's bringing out soon, and it'll be all around your tummy and helping with your tummy. And I'm just starting to learn that one at the moment. So I'm hoping that one will be really good, because it's like everything. We all hold the stress, the fears, the drama in our stomach. And a lot of people who suffer from different forms of the IBS,
celiac, all those systems.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine what this will do to help these type of people as well? This is what I'm hoping to do. I know beauty Reiki sounds a bit pretentious, but it's what it does is what's really fascinating me. It's not, there is obviously the really glowing side effects of it as well, in the sense that your skin is so much nicer, your lips, your teeth, as you said, your hair. I mean, I cannot get over the length of my hair. Now, I mean,
color it if you're used to coloring it. I mean, that's insane.
I know. I used to color it at least every 6 weeks, and because I would have quite a few grannies. I don't want to bring them back.
You tell.
Now I do get one or two, don't get me wrong, there's still one or two that pop up every so often. Nothing that I can't handle. I mean, it's amazing. But what I do have to laugh at when I'm doing Reiki and angel healing, my children and others will come and they'll be like, oh, what are you doing there? What's that? What are you doing? And I'm like, oh, it's just this. Oh, right. You know, I'll let you do a session on me if you like. If you like. And I'm like, right, hop up on the bed there and we'll do a session. And they'll be like, yeah, I liked that. Thanks. It's really lovely. I really like this.
My kids are still, when they see, they just walk by and shake their heads and keep going. So I haven't reached, that phase yet. They'll be like, Mom's doing that thing again. But the animals, the animals come. If I'm doing a distance session, it never fails. Like I'm doing distance and the energy's going and I'm in my zone. And then they'll just come. It's like the Pied Piper. And they come and lay down under my hands or near my hands. It's really fascinating to me, the sensitivity to animals.
So my son was in Galway and we were living in Kildare. So it's about 2.5, 3 hour drive. But he suffers car sickness. And of course, instead of being a good boy, he drank Fanta and ate junk food. And then got into the car and he was like, oh, very well. Now, I was in Kildare in my bed and he rings me and he goes, oh, very well. Please do something. And I'm like in my bed and I did Reiki and I got him from Galway to Kildare and he's like, nope, didn't puke once, ma'am. That was great. Thanks very much.
What would you tell somebody who is, thinking about, maybe I want to learn Reiki or maybe I want to do healing? What advice would you give them?
Go for it. If you think this is something that will appeal to you, you don't never have to see a client. You could just do it for yourself. You can just do it for your pets are in the house, whatever family are in the house. You don't necessarily have to do what I do, where I'm meeting people or I'm seeing people and I'm trying to help people. It's whatever capacity you can cope with is what will be given to you. I'm a firm believer in that. I don't think you have to go out and be the next highfalutin influencer in Reiki or angel healing and, take over the world. No. A lot of people who are drawn to this actually need to a lot of healing inside themselves first. Mm-hmm. And once the inside is healed, then you can move into a different space. And you may not ever want to move into that different space. And if you don't want to, you shouldn't be forced.
One of the things I think is I want to remove this barrier between what is this mysterious thing. It's accessible to everyone. It's just if you choose it, if you don't choose it. And a lot of us come to this work later in life too. I think it's important to also note that some people come into this planet and they're wide open and they're already receiving everything. And then some people awaken at later points in life, and that's okay too. This is something you could start at any age, at any time.
No, there's no right and wrong, in my opinion. It's really when you're ready to allow people into your personal space, well then you can start a business in it or whatever. But does it mean you have to? No. It just means you're just doing this work because you want to do it and you enjoy it. And if you're not enjoying it,
don't do it.
It's not really for you.
Yeah. And what has been one of your most eye-opening learning experiences for yourself?
I can walk into a room and not hide behind something else and go, I do angel healing, I do Reiki, I'm proud of it, and if you don't like it, that's on you. It's not on me. There's some people that I know will come into my energy that are meant for me, and I've come in and I'm just standing there and I find people just start talking to me. And I'm like, and my kids give out to me all the time. Keep your head down. Don't be talking to people when we're out. But there's a reason people talk to me. And will I switch that off? No. Because I think I'm just ready
to be more open and more, give out more when people need it.
I mean, I find that too, like, and that even before I was healing and doing things, it would often be this weird thing. And I've talked about this on a blog of mine and stuff, where they would just talk to me and confess their deepest, darkest thing. I don't know why, but I guess I just had that energy of a safe space and a place where, you know, and I now look back on that and realize it was because I've always been a healer. I just wasn't actively aware of being a healer. But healer's energy creates a space for people to feel safe, even if it's a subconscious thing.
It is, without a shadow of a doubt. And it's not that I'm going up, oh, what did you have for breakfast? Where do you live? Who's your mother? What school did you go? I don't ask them questions. I'm just in a general conversation, and all of a sudden it's like the floodgates open, and people like start telling me. I mean, I'm getting a bit of work done in the house, and people have come in and they start telling me about different things, and I'm like, I know that's important, but that's not going to change. I want to change my windows.
Because we are empaths, people who are in pain and people who need help are drawn to empaths naturally. It's like a moth to a flame. And so it's also very important to talk about when you're doing this type of work, shielding, grounding, clearing your own energy space. You can't give what you don't have. And so we have to remember to fill our tank and to keep our energy clean. What are some of your practices that you do to do that?
That one of the lovely ladies from the group has shown me how to make moon water, which is simple as put your bottled water outside in your full moon, leave it out in the full moon, call down the moon to bless the water, and leave the water out all night and bring it back in the morning, and that's your moon water. And it's just filled with moon energy. You can use it for your houseplants, you can use it for yourself, you can use it for anything. What I would do, I can take make a cup of green tea, and I can go outside and just walk around the garden. Or if it's wet and it's miserable, I can imagine myself walking in the garden outside and just bring in nice grounding roots, or I can just do like salt in a basin with nice warm water and soak my feet and pretend I'm in the sea. It's really the intention. It can be that simple. It doesn't have to be, oh, I have Newt and legs.
Yes. Sometimes even just an Epsom salt bath or...
If you're going into somewhere that you know, I mean, the likes of the shopping malls in the States is like, huge.
A lot.
They are a lot. And I mean, you can even feel that walking up to that, the amount of energy that's in there. You can just put your coat on, as if you're putting your coat on, and just zip yourself up. And I'm just zipping myself up. And any energy that's not for me can just bounce off and go back. It's not my energy. And I'm just going to keep my energy safe.
Thing where I imagine that I'm in like a little bubble or a little cocoon of light, and then I put mirrors facing outward in my imagination and say, whatever's not mine, send it back to sender, and only light and love can come through my energy field to me, but everything else is returned, you know.
Exactly. And it's not that you're returning with anger or ill intent or anything. It's just not yours. It's not for you.
There's also this thing, the more spiritually awake you become, the higher the responsibility, because you know what putting that energy out there does.
Yes.
You know, you can no longer feign ignorance, right? So it's, you know, that's why this work, I believe, is not for the faint of heart, because you are constantly having to better yourself in the sense of, okay, all right, yes, that my human side wants to flip that person off, but I have to say, no, cancel that. Cancel that. I release, I let go, or whatever you have to say to not get into that pit, right?
As my children would say, if I'm in the car and I'm like, my children would turn around and go, that's not really peace and love, ma'am. That's not really living in light. I mean, what would the angels think? And I'm like,
Yeah. That seriously, that is one of my biggest tests, is in the car. I mean, I don't know why, but I mean, yeah. So that, funny enough, that's often what is telling me where I am energetically, is when I'm in the car. Because I don't know if any of you have ever driven in Atlanta traffic, but we have some of the worst traffic and some of the craziest driving in the entire US. So it is a test, and it will definitely tell me where I'm at energetically as to how I respond. And as soon as, if that part of me starts to come out, I'm like, oh, I need to go meditate. And as soon as I get home, I need to meditate.
it's so true.
What would you want people to know that we haven't talked about, or that, like, is there anything, any wisdom that you want to share?
After a session with a person, whatever happens in that session stays in that room. And I will clear the room after everybody, and then I'll open the windows, weather permitting, obviously, open the windows and let that energy go. There's nothing there that I'm going to bring that on to say, oh, by the way, do you know who came in and do you know what's wrong? That does not happen. In my opinion, it doesn't happen with any of the people that is in this business that I have come across have ever once said to me, well, Betty Jo said such and such a thing and she has such and such a thing wrong with her. It's a big, massive no-no. If anything, the silence about people in our line of work is huge. We just don't talk about it. We talk about when, if, for example, I had a case recently and I did bring it to attention to another person, and it was a friend of a friend, and I felt I couldn't connect with her, or I wasn't connecting with her properly. And I was talking to the other person. They said, well, there's a reason for that. And I says, why? What's wrong? And she goes, the chances are the energy wasn't, she was half afraid because of who you were, that you were going to say something to the person in the middle. And I says, but I would never have done that. She says, I know that. You know that. But she doesn't know that.
Yeah.
And she came to you because she needed help, but she's not ready to open up fully. And when she is, or it may be a case that she's not for you because she feels you're too close to personal situation. So it was a learning, it was a big learning for me, but it was also, I think, it gave her a bit of a learning.
That's important. Like you and I have mentioned tiny antidotes, but we're not revealing personal information about any of our clients, and nor would I. And that's the thing, because it is a sacred space. It's a very intimate session, right? I mean, you're with someone's energy, and some of the things you might see are very, very, very personal to the person. And so I always make sure I tell the person as well, like, what happens in here is between us, stays here. It's like, if you abuse that or misuse that, then your ability to do that work will be curtailed, because that's not how spirit works, right?
A lot of the times after a session, most of it I won't remember.
Same.
I don't know about you. I mean, even when I'm doing a card reading, when I'm finished with the card reading and I've cleared and I walk out of the room, I'm kind of, I don't really remember what I did or said.
Couple of things, but like, you'll have people come back and say, oh, remember when you told me that? And I'm like, I have no idea, because that wasn't me. I'm just kind of, it's moving.
We're just the in-between.
Yeah.
So you have the higher, the channel, and then the person. And some things we get, but mostly we don't. Most of it we just forget.
I think it's important also that we have an outlet as people, having the things that lift you up, because this work, while very rewarding, can also
be taxing.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't change it for the world, but yeah.
Oh no. I mean, I do go when I get there comes a certain time where you're after having quite a few people and the energy has been quite heavy. if I feel at the end of that, I'm like, just, it's too dense and I can't clear it myself, I will go to somebody else. I will go to another Reiki practitioner or an angel healer, and I will ask for them to clear me. And it's always easier for somebody else to clear you than yourself.
Absolutely.
I have to say, I wasn't really happy in any job I did before this, but now I'm kind of going, oh, I have such a client today. Oh, I'm happy to do this. I'm happy. I put myself out there more. I'm now on TikTok. I know. Never thought I'd see the day that I'd be on TikTok. I do TikToks now. I'm doing Instagram. I never wouldn't have done that in a couple of years ago. A couple of years ago, I wouldn't even allow a photograph of myself up on Facebook because I'd be like, oh.
And now look, you're on a podcast.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have to say the confidence and the release to do this that the Spirit has brought into me is huge as well. I mean, a couple of years ago, I would never have done any of this. I never would have sat down in front of a camera and spoke to anybody. I would never have got onto TikTok and gone, oh, I'm doing my 2K walk today for breast cancer research walk. Happy Sunday. It's a sunny day. And I do that. I'm like, and it doesn't cost me a thought. I don't really worry about it. I go on camera with makeup or without makeup. It doesn't bother me. Now I will try and have my hair brushed. There's a huge amount of confidence and joy and happiness that this work has brought into my life that I didn't have before I did this work, which is that I'm very grateful for. Yeah, that is something I am very, very grateful for. And for as long as people need me, I will be here.
Well, and I am very honored and lucky to know you and to be just a tiny part of your journey. And so I'd love for people to know how to find you. So I'm going to tell them again that this is Margaret Lee with ML Therapy, and you can find her on Facebook, ML Therapy on Facebook. And I have to tell you, if you don't know already, how amazing she is inside and out. Again, I really think if there are past lives, you and I were definitely sisters in another life, because you just get me and I get you, and it's
You're
awesome.
amazing.
And that's the one last thing I'd say about our work is like the community that it brings. It's so much fun.
It is so much fun.
So much fun. Like, to know, like, I mean, I always thought I had my people, but I really have my people now. We all get each other, and it's beautiful, and I'm so blessed.
I'm so blessed. I am so blessed. I mean, last year we did a retreat, and I left everybody at home and I went and I got there myself. I was like, I would never have done that. I was like, oh, I would have got lost halfway through. But I did it. And I went into a room with a load. I never met any of them in person in my life, but it was like walking into a room of people that I have known forever. Yeah. It was just such a collective energy of warmth and openness and love.
Same. I mean, when I flew from the US, over, didn't know any of them, and then I walked in and it was just so healing and so beautiful and so warm. And yeah, I mean, I'm just so thankful that Spirit the opportunity to allow me to have this gift of your friendship, of, your community. And I hope that other people listening to this will get to experience that as well, because it's a joy.
It is a joy. It's a joy to meet you. It's a joy to meet new people. I have to say, you in yourself are a huge, amazing healer. And there's things that you have told me that I'm like, wow. Oh, so talented, so gifted, so gorgeous. And yeah, I would love to have been your sister in past life, because you're just amazing. And gorgeous. I mean, the most gorgeous, glamorous lady I've ever met.
You're so kind. Thank you. Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you.
Much love.
Much love. Much, much love.
Thanks so much for being with us. And if you can, drop a like, follow, or share this podcast. If you need to get in touch with me, you can do so at spirituallightwisdom.com. Remember, we're all connected, and these are just some of the stories that weave us together. For the Tapestry of Connection, I'm Gina Francis. Until next time.